All right. Everybody, hello, welcome. My name is Rich Groves, and I am the co-host of the Gateway to Freedom Real Estate Investor Conference being held right here in St. Louis, October 17th, 18th, and 19th. And I know we got started here a little late, and if you got the notification that we're going live, I'm glad you jumped on and are joining us today. So today we are going to be bringing on one of our sponsors, one of our diamond sponsors for Gateway to Freedom, and a real estate investor conference being held here in St. Louis. This is the second time it's ever happened. We did this last year and had an incredible fanfare, incredible turnout, great feedback that we're doing it again this year. And the plan is to keep doing this annually. So folks can come to the middle of the country, right here, centrally located, and we're highlighting St. Louis as a real estate investment mecca, if you will, a place where there are great deals to be had and a lot of wealth to be found here in the St. Louis area. The other thing that's unique about this conference is that it is geared toward people who are investing in St. Louis or maybe are interested in investing in St. Louis. There's, like I mentioned, there's a lot of great deals here. There are incredible values here, and people can make their dollars stretch further in St. Louis than they can in other parts of the country where the cost of living is just out of hand. So investing here in St. Louis, there are people that invest all over the country from other places. You don't have to be in St. Louis to do that. But we are focused on real estate investing here in the St. Louis area. But the thing is, if you're not in the St. Louis area and you come to this conference, you are still going to learn from over 30 speakers who are very successful in the St. Louis real estate investment market. As a matter of fact, there are only 3 out of our over 30 speakers who aren't in St. Louis, doing business in St. Louis, working in St. Louis of some type. So this is a very St. Louis-centric conference, but the information, the experience, the lessons learned are not exclusive to St. Louis. You can apply those in any market. So we welcome anybody from any market to come to this conference. Just because it's a conference from St. Louis, because almost every one of our speakers are here in St. Louis, for St. Louis, because we are identifying the incredible opportunity for people to invest in St. Louis. In St. Louis, you don't have to go to Miami or New York or Las Vegas or San Diego or Dallas to go to a real estate investor conference. You can do it right here in St. Louis, in the middle of the country. And we are having this meet the sponsors live sessions. It's live, so I had to misspeak. And that's what a real misspeak is, not a lie that you try to cover up. But anyway, that's what a misspeak is. I misspoke there. Sorry, a little joke. But the thing is, we're having a meet the sponsors live sessions for our sponsors, especially our diamond sponsors, because they're the ones who are invested in this conference. They want to see this conference be very successful. And it allows us an opportunity to give you a sneak peek of the sponsors that are going to be at the conference so that you can already, either you can reach out ahead of time to these sponsors and make connections already, or you can identify which sponsors you specifically want to target when you do attend the conference, because the conference is also not a sales pitch fest. We're not trying to pitch you in mastermind at the end of the conference. So don't expect that, and don't not come to this conference because you don't know what kind of mastermind I'm going to be selling at the end of the conference. That's not going to happen. The conference is set up where we will have vendors of all different types that are going to be able to help you in your real estate investor journey. If you're already a real estate investor, they're going to enhance your real estate investment business. Some folks you might already be doing business with, some folks you've never heard of, and that's fine. Because the one thing I've learned is I go from real estate investor meetup monthly. I go to several a month, and I find out that each group has its own little pack, right? Its tribe. So there's very few that cross over. There are several real estate investors that go to different meetups and multiple meetups throughout the month. But there are so many here in the St. Louis area that there's no way you know every single real estate investor here in the St. Louis area, much less across the country. So the same it holds true for our vendors. There's no way you know all the flooring companies. There's no way you know all the insurance companies. There's no way you know all of the property management companies, things like that. So we're highlighting these folks that are our sponsors so you can kind of get a head start on identifying who they are. If you, oh, they sound like they have a personality and a business plan that kind of meshes with what I'm trying to do, then those are the folks we want to, connect you with. This conference is all about connecting. We want to make sure we connect you to over 30 speakers. We want to connect you with a ballroom full of real estate investors, and we want to connect you with a great number of vendors who provide value to the real estate investment community. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk to one of those folks. It's going to be, I apologize for choking up there for a second there. And give me 1 second while I clear out, trying to wait for some of the background noise to lessen here a little bit. So I do apologize for that. There's folks, I guess they're having a bridal shower upstairs or something. Hopefully you all don't hear that. But the thing is, this is funny. I actually had an interview with one of our speakers that I'll be posting here in the next couple of days, where we literally had, and thank goodness in this office building, the glass outside is, or two outside to the street view is pretty soundproof, but there were ambulances and fire trucks driving by the street, and I was curious as to how that was going to affect the volume. Like somebody just drove by a really, really loud car right there, and I just don't know if that's going to affect the quality of the video. So I'm just trying to kill some time right now while these folks are cheering and stuff upstairs, because I don't know if it's going to affect the interview, and I don't want it to affect the interview at all. So let's see here. Let me see if my guest is available and ready just yet. He's been patiently waiting while I've been just talking and talking and talking. Roger, are you out there yet, sir? Are you in your office? He may not be, and that's perfectly fine. I'm going to give Roger obviously the opportunity to talk more about himself and his business and how he can help real estate investors in the St. Louis area and all across the country who are investing in St. Louis. But it's BK Real Estate Investor Services. Roger Bequette is the owner or co-owner or partner of the business, and it's a really, really unique business that I think real estate investors are really going to love. I mean, can you imagine a company that does basically well? I think Roger's about there. So Roger, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go. You can hear me. All right, he's thumbs up. Okay. So everybody, I want to introduce you to Roger Bequette with BK Real Estate Investor Services. And here, let's bring him on.
Hello.
All right. Hey, are you there, buddy?
I am here.
Great. Welcome. Your audio is a little choppy there.
All righty.
There you go.
How about now?
Yep, sounds good to me there. Hopefully our mics aren't conflicting. So after I ask a question or whatever, I'll make sure to click my mute so that your mic comes across in case that's the problem. So, but welcome, Roger.
And thank you for inviting me. I am very, very excited about the Gateway to Freedom. And I think that the people that come and visit with us are going to get a lot out of it. I was there last year, and it is really just a phenomenal event.
Awesome. Thanks for that tidbit. And yeah, you mentioned you were there as an attendee last year, and now you're going to be sponsoring the event as well. And what made you make that decision? What made you decide, you know what, I want to sponsor this event?
I am a type of a business owner where I have to see what is going on, and I have to see what is the advantage and what is going to be the ROI on the money that is going to be used. And last year, your speakers were of such a high level and high quality. I learned quite a bit. Now, I've been in real estate for over 20 years. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have had a total of 8 businesses so far, and I have 4 businesses right this minute. So when I say that, I got something out of it, it's because I did. And that isn't always what happens. A lot of times I hear things that I learned, 15, 20 years ago. And if I'm the smartest guy in the room, then I'm in the wrong room. Where with you and your conference, it was good. I learned, and it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. So I decided to become a sponsor and let you, me, and the conference speak for itself.
Got to
Yeah,
make sure I click the right button there. No, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that, and we sincerely appreciate that mindset. The one thing I want to do is I want to make sure I attract those kinds of folks that have that kind of mindset, and that we're trying to put on a class act event here, a class act conference, conference that the quality is going to rival any of the conferences across the country. It may not have the showmanship and the light shows and all this kind of stuff, and the the dancers going up and down the aisles and stuff like that I've seen a couple times, but it is going to be an incredible value for the numbers.
you went away. All right.
Wrong button. Yeah, went dead there for a second. But yeah, we want to add value with the amount of information we offer, and I'm glad that you identified that this is going to be something of really good significance. So thank you. So you said you've been in real estate over 20 years. You're a serial entrepreneur. Tell everybody about BK Real Estate Investor Services. What does that mean? What do you guys do?
Basically, BK Real Estate Investor Services has 3 avatars. An avatar is the perfect client. The first avatar is mom and dad. They watched HGTV. They stood up on the couch. They're excited. And they're like, we can do that. And they can't, because unless they can take a house apart, put it back together in 90 days, they can't do that. So what we do is, the very first thing is, with mom and dad or whoever, we interview them. We want to know what they know. We want to make sure that they have the funding to be able to provide what is going to happen. We want them to do a very soul search on what it's going to take. And we want to make sure that they understand what their exit strategy is going to be. Because the exit strategy, as a lot of people realize, is what is going to drive the rehab and the rehab costs. So that's the very first thing. Then, because I have wholesale properties that come across my desk continually, because I now know where they want their house, what type of property they're looking for, anything else about, I will present it to them. Say yes. And this is the best part. Because I have contractors that work directly with me, I will have a contractor walk with them through that house. This needs to be repaired. This needs to be repaired. Don't worry about that. That's just dirt. We'll take care of that. But the point is that at that point, they become smart. They know how much the property is going to cost to acquire, and they know how much the rehab is going to cost from a seasoned professional. You're not going to get that anywhere else. The the general contractor, they'll tell you, and then when you sign the contract, the general contractor is going to go do the work. And then you go and go, well, what about this? That wasn't in the contract. With BK, I am there. I am there with you. So I am holding your hand. There's one forehead in all of this. And now I was actually going to name the company that, One Forehead. So all the way through, what that brings is the ability to sleep at night. You're not going to have to worry about where the electrician is going to come from. You're not going to have to worry about, is the plumber going to be there on time, and is somebody there to make sure that they're actually doing the plumbing that is on the prints. They're not going to be able to worry, because the forehead is there. So you can take, as a new investor, you can literally take every other investor and ask them, so your first whatever, fix and flip, your first rental, your first whatever, did you cry during that? And the answer is yes. Well, what'd you cry about? I didn't know about permits. Well, guess what? That's real. You don't have to know about permits. You will learn about permits, but you don't have to know about permits to start. Now, this goes all the way through to the closing, because I also have in-house real estate agents that are fee-based, and I also have my preferred title company. Everything is there, and it's all meshed. So it goes from here to here to here to here to here to here to here, and then you either get keys or a check. Ta-da! That is BK. Now, that is one avatar. The other avatar is seasoned professional, already has a portfolio, and just doesn't want to mess with it anymore. This is very handy where it is an out-of-state investor, because you just tell me what you want. And I want three twos. I want it to be this much. I want to be able to get this much rent for it. And I want it in this neighborhood. And cool, we'll get it for you. As the investor, you will sign for it. One of the other things that I have is a funding company, Advisors Commercial Capital, who was also a sponsor of you. And so it is literally, you just tell me what you want, and the next thing that you hear from me is when I turn the keys over to you. It can be that simple, and we can just do it time and time and time and time and time again. Now the last one is, I have to qualify this. I am not selling securities. I am not a fiduciary responsibility. I am not a CPA. I'm not a tax accountant. The list of what I'm not goes on forever. But people, especially the good news is the interest rate's going down. Bad news is the interest rate's going down. So for people whose money is not making what it used to, I can show you. I can't make you, but I can show you how to get double-digit returns on funds. And he's smiling because I learned it from him. So I'm good at it now because I learned from the master. Obi-Wan. I am not worthy, Obi-Wan, but I am worthy. But
right.
The point is that this is all going to be with not guaranteed, because you can't guarantee, but it's a backed up by real estate. So it is legitimate, and I can explain it to you and show it to you and do the numbers. But those are my three avatars: the completely inexperienced, the completely experienced, and the individual that just wants to get a better return on their investment dollars. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man, it makes total sense, perfect sense. I like how you put it in the avatar.
Yeah.
You have avatars. Yeah, that's pretty cool. People could probably relate to that and know what those are. So at least, yeah. So mostly anyway. But yeah, that's great. And it's so it almost sounds like you're like an all-in-one when you say like the first avatar where you sit down and you meet with the people and you make sure this, make sure that. It's not like you're only working with experienced investors, right? When you say you're making sure, it means you're also educating them, right? So
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
you,
All of this is based.
yeah,
You. It's so much easier to work with an intelligent, involved client. On the other side of that is there's that 50-50 thing. If you have intelligence and you don't want to be involved at all, great, we can do that. It is where you don't have the knowledge and you want to be involved in everything. I'm afraid I won't be able to work with you. That is just hate and discontent, and that is just not something that is going to help you, and it's not something that's going to help my general contractors. And I have to make sure that all of these men and women are happy also. So it is my job, basically, making sure that everybody, remember the one forehead, that everybody is working in tandem and it is just meshing together. You know, like that. Da, 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 da. But it is, this is one thing. This is one thing, and I have to make this abundantly clear. This is for the beginner, the newbie. Once we make and agree to a rehab budget, you cannot change it, period. I don't care what Uncle Bill says. You're not going to come back. We've got all the cabinets in, and now you're saying, no, I want to rip all of that countertop out and I want to put this in. No, because you're going to throw the entire timeline off. That's a newbie thing right there. That's a huge newbie thing. At the end of it, when we're closed and you either get the key or the check, I am more than happy to change out anything you want. But hard and fast rule, unless a tree falls on it, a fire happens in it, or something else that makes it completely come to a stop, we are not changing the rehab budget and materials. And that's how I protect you from yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure does. Sure does. And that's good to know. And especially when you have new real estate investors who may be overwhelmed, they don't know what to do. That it's good to have somebody in your corner that can coach you through things and walk you through, okay, this is how you set up a budget. This is what you're looking for. You have, like you said, you have somebody walk you through the property. You're walking the property to identify what does need to work based on their vision. Like, hey, this is going to be a rental. Okay, great. What part of the town are we all in? Do we need granite countertops? Do we need laminate countertops? Do we need, tile, or do we, need vinyl? Whatever. So that's great. That's great to have somebody that knows the business, is experienced, and has a company that's a one-stop shop that they can walk them through from the beginning to the end. So that's great. Now, you out of those three avatars, which one's your favorite?
The newbies.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
we
I was
all
just gonna say,
it, we all started. We all had our first one. We all cried. I have known people that on their first investment, they ended up getting divorced. I mean, it was just that stressful, and it doesn't need to be, but it is stress out of, my wife always gets mad at me when I use this word, but it is stress out of ignorance. Ignorance can be fixed. You learn, and now you're not ignorant anymore. But it is, if you don't know what you don't know and you don't know what's coming around the corner, then it's nothing but stress. I mean, you can have the best plan, you can have everything laid out, and then you open up the sewer line, and guess what? It's cracked. So now you got to, take care of that. These are all things that should have been found out at the beginning. You should have had your pipes scoped. You should have had them in there with a camera all the way to the street. Oh, that's costing me money. Well, it cost you a heck of a lot more finding it out after you've already put a whole new cement floor in the basement. Yeah. So these are things that it is just listen to. I did 30 years in the Navy, and I worked in weapons, and I blew things up for a living, and I was good at it. But all of the rules are written in blood because people did stupid things and paid for it. Well, this is the same thing. People have been rehabbing houses since time immemorial, and they learned. And then on the second one, they learned more. What BK provides for the beginning investor, you're still learning. You're just not crying. And you're being able to sleep at night. You're not worried about, is the electrician going to be there? Who is the electrician? They were talking about codes. What is a code? You're talking about pulling permits. What's a permit? These are all things that the first rental investment property can slay you with. I'm going to make sure you don't fall on your sword.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You may feel like you want to fall on your sword, but you got somebody to talk you down from a ledge and make sure that when that happens occasionally, it's something like you said just needs to be coached up a little more on that part to fix it so it doesn't happen again. Yeah, that's awesome. So, Roger, how can people get a hold of you? Like, if people want to connect with you, like they see this interview here and they're like, I want to get a hold of them, find out more about what they can do. First off, are you taking new clients now, or are you waiting until the conference?
Absolutely. This has been, like I said, I have multiple companies, and now the multiple companies are under the umbrella of Bequette. So they're all meshed. Okay. So what that means is I have spent the last 4 years building up to BK. So right now, BK in and of itself is approximately 4 years old. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 months old. We are taking clients on, and this is a big deal right here. This is a huge deal. My first clients are free.
Oh, wow.
First 6 clients will be free. Why? Because I need the word of mouth. I need these clients to tell other people how fantastic this is and how stress-free it can be. So because of the fact that I like you, that was my Elvis imitation, because of the fact that I like you, and as part of the Gateway to Freedom, my first 6 clients will be free. After that, it is $19.95, all the way through from the very beginning. Now, that does not cover the contractors, the closing costs, everything that is a standard cost of an investment property, rehab, closing, and selling. That's still there. That's just doing business. My guidance is free to the first 6 clients. Because of you, they can thank you.
Well, I mean, it's a thank you. I appreciate that. That is incredible. And we do encourage our sponsors. Hey, if you got a little something you want to kind of, sweeten the pot for the conference, that's great. It's not required. It's just, obviously it's okay to do that. And that's amazing. And your $19.95, that, just to clarify, that's not $20, folks. That's not $20, right?
No, not $20. But if you want to do $20 an hour, we can do that.
Yeah, right. Right.
More than 1,990.
I mean, that is, I mean, even you know, obviously it's very generous that you're doing the first 6 for free, but that 1995 is a great value as well, because I call that, because I know folks that have any kind of service like that that they can provide. It's kind of like, if you think of like it's obviously much more than this, but if you think of the general contractor, if you have a general contractor who's hiring all the different contractors, they're going to have a fee, a GC fee. I would call what you're doing like a herding cat's feet, because you're doing everything, you're pulling everything in, doing everything, and man, for 1995, so people can just have that peace of mind that they've got somebody in their corner helping them herd those cats and make sure everything's correct, and they learn how to herd cats and they're educated. It's an education fee as well, so I mean that's a huge value, Roger. So that's awesome. I'm looking forward to folks in the conference taking you up on what you do. And hopefully there's a lot more than 7 that do. That means a few will be paying for it, but those first 6, that's going to be incredible. They're going to have an incredible experience, I know, just because your experience and what you have put together, your construction crew, your financing, your financing capabilities, and just the education folks are going to receive from you, and learning how to go through a whole rehab with you is, I think, going to be invaluable.
My contact information, first off, is the website. It is www.bequette services.com. And it's a very good website. I've had a lot of people go look at it, and I tell them, pick it apart. I want you to tell me what's wrong with it. Don't tell me it's good. I don't care about good. I want to know what's wrong with it. And people have been, nope, this is it. It explains it very easily. It's very easy to read. It's very easy to use. And at the end of it, there is the information from the potential client. Tell me who you are, what your experience is. It's not like, you're writing a written test or doing an essay. Very easy. The other one is Roger at BKREI services.com. That is my email. That's my personal email. Don't send me bad things. And hey, you suck. No, not really. But in answer to the question of how does this guy even be able to do what he claims he can do, I herd cats. That's what I do. When I retired from the Navy, I did independent consulting work for a naval weapons research facility. And then a very large company that you've never heard of bought my company. And I tell you that because what I was in charge of for that company was something that had never been done before on the face of the planet. And it involved environmental scientists, it involved environmental lawyers, it involved bureaucrats, it involved military officers, it involved technicians, and we brought it on online, on time, on budget, with all of the training and personnel and equipment in place. I herd cats, and I like it. So that's what I bring.
That is funny. That is great. That is awesome. Roger, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for the cool thing was you had just gotten out of an interview or a meeting, business meeting. So you jumped right on here. Appreciate you making time to do that. And,
backwards. Yeah, there we go. It's probably backwards. Can you read that?
Yeah, you can read it. Yeah, you can read it. It's good. It's like mirror. I mean, it's not mirrored. So you can read it. For sure. Yep.
For sure.
And I did post the website and the email address in all the comment sections for the videos. So whether you're seeing this on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, either in the Gateway to Freedom group or my personal Facebook group, that's all been posted. So you can check out the website and the email address to get a hold of Roger and get a hold of BK REI Real Estate Investor Services, BK Real Estate Investment Services. get them, get ahead of, he's only offering the first 6 for free. So if you get a hold of him, before the conference, you might be one of those 6. So do that. But thanks so much, Roger. We appreciate that. We can't wait to see you at the Gateway to Freedom Real Estate Investor Conference coming up here October 17th, 18th, and 19th. And we hope to make tons of connections among the speakers and the participants and the attendees among themselves, and then of course the attendees with our vendors to help build their team and get them going down the right path if they're new, or maybe correct a path here or there if they're experienced. And we're so excited. So thanks so much. Appreciate you being a part of this team. And we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Roger. So there you go, folks. If you like what you heard from Roger and you're intrigued and you want to talk to him more and learn more about BK Real Estate Investor Services, make sure you go out to bkreiservices.com and check out their website. And then if you want to reach out to Roger directly, do so via email at roger@bkreiservices.com. Get out to Gateway to Freedom. Make your connection with Roger and his team and the other vendors that we're going to have there. There is an incredible opportunity for you to meet and connect with people that can help you with your real estate investment business. That's October 17th, 18th, and 19th. Go to free.com. Use any speaker's first name, or you can use the name Rich, and you will save $200 on the ticket prices. And we hope to see you then. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care.